This presentation is being brought to you by O.E.N Productions. And how you doing, my family and friends? So look, I'm not the biggest, I'm not the strongest, I'm not the smartest, I don't have the most money, but I have faith, and I choose to apply my faith and have faith in God. So what happens is, the faith that I have, since I put it on God and I put it on Jesus, now God is walking with me. So being that I'm not the smartest, I'm not the biggest, I'm not the baddest, I got God on my side. And that's a problem now. That's an issue, because God, if you recollect King David, when God went on his side and he was about to battle Goliath, you know, David wasn't bigger. He didn't have the biggest weapon, you know, but he had everything, bro. Once he knew that he had God and he chose to put his faith on God, he went up against Goliath and knocked him down. And that's how I feel. I feel like even though it's just me doing everything I'm doing, and you know, I got my family, thank God, but I got God, man. I got everything right there. And that's what we need to understand. That's what people need to understand, that, you know, you're only gonna get but so far by yourself. You're only gonna get so far trusting in other people. You know, if you want the best, and if you want to go the highest, then you gotta let God take you there, and you gotta surrender. You know, I'm gonna continue to talk that word right there, because that's a very powerful word, bro. God is so amazing, man. You know, look, God is so amazing that for 50 years now, I've been in this neighborhood, right? I remember as a little kid, I used to come up here and we used to play football. I remember the helmet was too heavy for me. The helmet was too heavy for me, bro. And I ain't want to tackle, and I ain't want to, you know, we used to play with equipment, man, but I was little, you know. But look, all these years later, look, I'm back on this field right now at 50 years old, and now I could remember, you know, all the fun we had here as kids. And this is what we gotta do, man. We gotta rewind the tape. We gotta go back to our childhood, and we gotta see what happened and what we need to unpack now, so we can know where we at and where we moving forward to. You gotta remember, some things is good. Sometimes it's good to forget, but then other times you gotta remember. You know, you gotta remember the pain. Sometimes you went through some pain in life. You gotta remember the pain to cause you not to stumble again and get yourself in a situation where you're gonna have to feel that pain again. You know, the heartache. You know, you gotta remember those times, those rough times, so that you can know what you're doing now. You know, and sometimes we don't want to remember. Sometimes we want to forget, and we want to bury it, and we don't want to talk about it. But there's things that we go through in life. There's situations we go through. There's people that hurt us. There's people that we hurt, and we gotta forgive, and we gotta ask for forgiveness. You know, that's a strong word right there, because, you know, you can't move forward if you're hanging on to things that happened a long time ago. You know, you're not gonna move forward, bro, if you bury things inside, and all it does is makes you harder and harder, and you can't communicate, you can't talk. So now you go into relationships and you don't know how to communicate, you don't want to communicate, you don't have the desire to communicate, and what happens at that point is that you expecting the other person to read your mind and to know how you feeling, and you're not expressing yourself. So, you know, it's a lot of stuff that needs to get unpacked as we get older, because what happens is that we have a hard time adjusting to our kids and raising our kids and teaching our kids and leading our families, especially the men. The men is the head of the house, and many times men don't know how to be men. You know, I had to learn how to be a man. You don't just grow up learning to be a man, especially if you didn't have that example there on a day-to-day guiding you along, telling you what to look out for and what not to look out for, and what to do and what not to do. But men is the head of the household. And if you a man and you're not being the head of your house, you're not leading your house correctly, then the enemy, the devil, he's gonna come in and cause havoc in your household and bring separation and devastate your family and your descendants. So, men is the head of the house. Watch out if you're doing something or making choices that's gonna remove you from the house. It's gonna remove you from your marriage. It's gonna remove you from your significant other. It's gonna remove you from your kids, because that's like a death blow right there, bro. That's the beginning of the end when there's separation within the household, because everybody gets affected negatively for a long time, and abuse starts to happen at that point.